right, you going live. What's that?
What it say on yours?
What's that? Oh, there it is.
Oh, I see.
All right. It's on.
But that might be too much echo.
I don't need anything.
I think you were right. Too much echo. When you look like that.
All my friends are watching.
Stay on, stay live. I want y'all to, be tuned in, comment, let me know.
So how about I just turn mine down? Because I really don't need volume on mine. Right?
Yeah.
All right, so I got to execute on here again. Even though I see myself.
I don't see you no more. You left.
Oh, all right, so.
You did what they do when times get rough. You left.
All right, so my friends are watching your thing, but how do I get back on here?
Don't leave. We about to start. And can't bring the teacher on camera. I think we might hang up and start over.
All right, let's start over.
Hold on, come back. I got to start over to bring y'all on. I'm going to hang up. Y'all got to come back.
Yeah, because I can see all my friends coming on, but it's a terrible delay. All right, everybody out there in YouTube world, this is Open Wide with Neeuq. I am your Ebony Queen, WMSK Online Radio. We are about to go live momentarily, so thank you for joining us. Make sure you're sharing this link with your friends. Make sure you check us out every Monday night from 7 to 9.
All right, try now. Come on. How y'all feeling over there?
Just tell them to chill.
Good. All right.
He trying to sucker y'all in. Don't fall for it, ladies. Don't fall for it.
Don't look into his eyes.
Right.
Go to the sunken place. Go to the sunken place. Yes.
Yeah. Next thing you know, you'll be celibate. Don't do it. Don't do it. All right, here we go, Wesley. So I turned my volume down, so your friend should be able to hear my voice. So you're not going to hear it when there's music going on. You're going to hear it. All right, y'all. Welcome, Facebook. I had to jump on Wesley because we're YouTube live in it. So we're getting ready to get started. Is that your service? All right, we'll see what we do when the commercial's on now. So we're right. All right, tonight we're talking about if the status of relationships is not a good thing, why do we keep doing it? We got Aisha in the house, and she even brought a guest, Stacy. So it's 3-on-1 today. So we got him last week. We got him this week.
I ain't do nothing last week. That's what's crazy. I ain't even did nothing last week.
I know, Tara. Once I turn the music off, you won't be able to hear.
What you said?
Feedback. Because the mic is not live yet. All right, go back to your regular seat and see if it go down. See if the feedback go back away. No, then I won't be able to see you. I don't like you. Stay right there.
No, we good.
Ladies, don't fall for it on YouTube. YouTube land, don't fall for it.
It's all love from right here. Right, look. Right here, baby.
Don't fall for it, ladies. All right.
What's up? How you doing. Stay on that. We're about to start. I want y'all to get some of this, this juicy action. Let me know how y'all feel. Comment, like, share, repost, all that. If you feel like I'm wrong, let me know. I like, criticism. I can grow from that. But the problem is right now, I don't feel like I'm wrong there.
All right. Ready? I got single ladies on, y'all.
See, that's what I'm saying. She started y'all off on the wrong foot. Single ladies. Beyonce home with her man.
Good evening. This is WMSK Online Radio, Open Wide with me, coming to you every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. This is the home of the Cheryl Underwood Morning Show. Make sure you're downloading the app and make sure you're also following us on YouTube Live. Make sure you're seeing us on YouTube Live. We want to stop doing this Facebook Live, and we want you to join our YouTube channel so that you can see what's happening. So tonight we're going to be talking about the status of relationships. I want to know from people in the audience about what they think about not getting into these relationships when we know the status and the level of marriage is going down. A lot of single women are not going with Wesley's plan to get married, and they'd rather be single. So I just want to know, why do we continue to get into relationships when we know that the marriage rate is low already, but the divorce rate is growing every year? So I have several guests in the studio tonight. If you tune into YouTube, you can see how nervous they are. But Aisha is back. She brought some backup for Wesley. Her name is Stacy. Ladies, introduce yourselves. Say something to YouTube world, Facebook world, radio world. Let them know.
Hello, everybody. Hey, y'all.
All right, so we got two chicks from the Bronx in here. So we ready to hear what's going on. I'm expecting them to bring out the New York. Aisha is letting me down. She's just smiling. I need her to, bring a birthday night. And of course, my wonderful, wonderful co-host, Mr. Wesley Hawkins from the No Leader Project. I always give him an opportunity to introduce himself, talk about his organization, and let us know how we can connect with him. Wesley.
How y'all doing? First of all, I want to say, I want to speak to all the ladies. How y'all doing? Hope y'all feeling, so great and awesome inside and outside. But my name is Wesley Hawkins from the No Leader Project, which is a mentorship program here. We mentor kids in Baltimore and DC, college readiness, entrepreneurship, life skills, character building, and much other things. You can reach out to me through my website at www.dearnolita.org. You can email me at thenolitaprojectinc@gmail.com. Or you can call my work line, 424-653-7663. I'm here for a lot of single parent moms, grandmoms, fathers, aunts, sisters. I have a lot of kids, and that's what we continue to do until the God calls me. So, but we're going to get into the discussion today and see what these ladies have to say. Let's go.
All right. So make sure you call in. So Wesley, it's not working with both of you.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to cut it off. Thanks, Matthew. She about to cut one off. All right, back.
All right, so the number to call in, 570-763-WMSK. So that's 570-763-9675. That's the number to call in and weigh in on the discussion. Okay. So we're going to get it started. So in the last, it seems like forever, we've talked about Wesley's idea of what it means to be single, dating, just trying to figure out and find out what it is that he's expecting from a woman. He has also told us a lot about what he would add to a relationship, and what he's come up with was amazing to me. It was shocking.
We just started.
Yeah, we already got a call.
We ain't even the topic going, man.
Right.
Hold on. Let's see
WMSK Online Radio. This is your host, Neeuq. Hello. We can't hear you. Hang up and give us a call back.
Hey, how you? Stay tuned in. We're about to get real, about to get real juicy over here.
Yes, indeed. So several weeks ago, Wesley said that if there were 5 million women, out of those women, only 500,000 were likely to have the characteristics of what it would take to be a mate for him, because he has high expectations of those women. And it's understandable, what he's looking for, and what he's saying that he can give to a woman will be a woman's dream, because he would save her, he would rescue her. So before you fall into those good looks, that sexy little voice he just tried to give y'all, understand what it's going to take to be part of that 500,000.
All right, so first of all, it's like she giving y'all a disclaimer, and I'm gonna ask you, a question before we get into this. You want to be warned about a man like such as myself, or you want to be warned about the men that y'all accepting in your lives out here that's doing you wrong every day, having 4 or 5 other women while they coming home to you, or not having a job and he driving your car while you clocking in, or he got 10 other kids and none of them yours, and you trying to be, a good girlfriend or wife or stepmother. So I wanted to get to paint this picture first and get the proper understanding of who y'all giving a warning out for. Because I live in a real world where I talk to a lot of people from all over the U.S. I get a lot of comments, phone calls, emails, and everything. I talk to a lot of women, and a lot of women are unhappy. A lot of women are being physically abused. A lot of women are being emotionally abused. A lot of women are dealing with men that don't have jobs. A lot of women are dealing with men who are in and out of prison. A lot of women are dealing with men who have tons and tons of kids and none of them are hers. A lot of women are coming to the table and they're dealing with a lot of stress and pain. And I feel like that's why the divorce rate is up so high.
Absolutely.
Because we dealing with so much trauma that how can you properly make somebody happy if you're not happy? And what I'm saying is, as a man first, when I walk to the table with any woman, I am already happy and know who I am first. So regardless on what woman I end up marrying, I feel like I bring much. I know who I am as a man. A woman can provide more substance. A woman can help me be a better man, but I am already blessed. I know the direction I'm headed. And when I see a lot of these relationships that the women are dealing with, I'm honestly, I'm caught up like in breath, because I'm like, you shouldn't even have to deal with that. But there's a lot of women who deal with things because they'd rather deal with that man than to not be alone. So it's like, I'm not trying to scare no one from a relationship. Mm-hmm. What I'm trying to do is say, if women would have their standards up and stop accepting so little and less from men, these men would have no choice but to step their game up, because the man, straight men, that's what they coming out the door for. That's what they striving to do, get the attention in the mind and the body of a woman. You understand? But if you giving it away for a chicken box and a Pepsi, how much you think you getting from me?
Okay. So without a doubt, yes, there should be a certain level of respect, especially when you're giving up so much of yourself to be in a relationship. But in your past explanations, a lot of the points that you made, we'll get into. So I like the way that you're putting it today. But a lot of that is going to come. A lot of it is going to come with maturity and mentality as far as the female is concerned. There's a lot of stuff that's happening in households that maybe create this promiscuous person. And so, people are different. So it may be that, I'm just a sex addict and this guy's not doing it. So then I got to find somebody else who can keep up with me. Or if it's not one, I got to find those people who can keep up with me or whatever. So I think there's a lot of dynamics that go into it. So specifically, before we get started, I want you to say in your own words what that 500,000 would look like, because
so she stuck on his 500,000.
I can't let it go.
Let it go. So all right. If what I mean by this is, if you have a population and it's 5 million women, the way the world is now, out of those 5 million women, I feel like only 500,000 of them maybe carry themselves the right way. And what I mean by that is, you have a major and a huge percentage of women who are giving themselves away for little to nothing. And me, once I see that, then now I'm not interested anymore. If I see that once I just come in and just all great, you ready to pop it open for me, Queen, I don't want you no more. You know why? I've had enough of that. I'm 32 years old, and in my years of living and being on this earth, I've had enough of women that want to just give it to me for little to nothing. Pull my mind. What's up here first? Open me up and see what's in my mind first. See what's in my heart. Don't look at me and be like, oh yeah, I want to sleep with him just because he has some, or just because he drives a nice car, or I believe he has money. See what's up here first. And I feel like if more women will move and operate that way and see what substance that man comes with, then a lot of them won't be as hurt and as damaged. But I also take that back to the men and the fathers being in the house, because the men aren't teaching these women what they should love, what man they should fall for, what man that should get their attention. It's too much, silliness going on that women just ready to pop it open for. And that's what I mean by out of 5 million women, maybe only 500,000 might get my attention. And I'm not saying I can't say, oh, she got a nice body. No, there's a lot of women out there that got nice bodies. But what's up here? And that's what I feed off of. Because at some point, the little nice body ain't going to be the only thing that keep you there. Because if you got the nice tail and the big breasts, but you got biscuits up here, I'm gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't come home and be myself.
Don't have biscuits, lady.
Like, seriously. Like, so, that's just where I stand. And I feel like, a lot of men and women aren't challenging each other mentally.
Okay, so I get that. So when the ladies were giving it to you, just giving it up for nothing, were you not being a man whore? Because they can't give you anything that you're not trying to get.
At one point in my life, yeah, I was knocking them down. Okay. You feel what I'm saying? I never once stated that Wesley as a man is perfect. I had to grow again. I had to evolve. I had to go through a lot of things, and I looked at myself in the mirror. And anytime you want to create change, you got to be that first step. So I feel like if I wanted to create change for my family, for my friends, for my community, for the men around me, I had to be the first step of change. I can't keep on having 5 women, 6 women, 10 women I'm sleeping with in a month. But I'm saying women treat yourselves better, or men start treating them good, and I'm sleeping with 10 women. I used to live like that, yeah, because I wasn't where I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? So right. I ain't gonna say I didn't.
So do you think that the responsibility is on the man just as much as it is on the woman? Because if the man is out here trying to knock as many down, you can't blame just the women for going ahead and giving it to them.
No, yeah, I do blame it. Well, it's 50-50. But since it's so easy coming from women, it's almost like a sport to men now. It's like a sport to them. It's a sport to how many women they can have sex with.
So why is it not okay for it to be a sport to a woman and see how many men she can have sex with? Why that double standard? Why is it that
I'm
women?
Not saying, see, you use the wrong terms.
No, I'm asking.
I'm not addressing because you use the wrong terms when you speak to me anyway. Because I'm not giving y'all a double standard. I'm telling you, as men, we need to step up. And we need to be that positive change in the community and in the household. So I'm not saying, oh yeah, let the men knock down 20 joints a month and the woman chill.
Even if we deny the men, right? Even if women were to deny men
So I never said deny men. I never said deny men.
Wait a minute, hold on. I didn't even finish.
Oh.
If women didn't give in to what these men are trying to do or denied men the opportunity to just infiltrate their space, I don't know that that's actually going to change anything on a man's part. Right. So they'll just find somebody. No, Wesley, for real.
If you start
or men who choose to live life as they choose to, and most times, again, society has deemed us as a monogamous group of people, and that may not necessarily be our natural state of being. So what Wesley was just talking about, he was explaining his phenomenon of the 500,000, and so we were talking about his expectations. So we were just talking about some, different aspects of that. And excuse my voice,
she tricks me out.
But I still came here to give him the business. It might be cracking, it might. Him the business today.
What's tripping me out is,
yes,
y'all making it seem like my ideology is the one. That's why we living and going through what we're going through now, because y'all looking at the way that I think and the way that I'm saying we should drive towards living as the one that's off. When you got, look what we living in.
So this is.
Can we break down what we living in?
Absolutely, but let me just say this. I'm not saying that your view is wrong. I think it would be great, but I'm also thinking that you might need to go find you some land where just you and your friends who also think like that can go be, so that you won't be disappointed. Because society as a whole, again, your mind frame is thinking just like I'm saying society has built it to think, and has people to believe it has to be a man and woman, it has to be a one-on-one. As a whole.
Not in 2018. How can you say that in 2018 when right now it's more popular to be a stripper than it is to be a wholesome woman? It's more popular to be online showing your tail. If you look online right now, the women who showing their booty, The women who flashing their breasts, the women who popping their vagina, they got 500,000, a million, 2 million, 5 million, 10 million followers online, and they not doing nothing but showing that body off. And then if you look online with a woman who's going after her PhD, she's trying to be a young lawyer, a young doctor, a young nurse, or she's working a good job. She got 200 friends. She got 500 friends. So how can you say society is, because the women who's striving for greatness, they got like 500 friends, and the ones who popping, they got 5 million.
And let me just step back and clarify. So I was talking about society in general, from the morals and the traditions that have been passed down over time. Now in 2018, those are starting to change, and that's why it seems abnormal. But overall, that view that society has built, that's why homosexuality is looked at a certain way. That's why promiscuous women are looked at a certain way. All of that is what has been embedded into people over time. So now here in 2018, with a wider acceptance of those alternative things, people seem to look at that much differently when it should not be, because people are going to be people. And I say this all the time, just like when preachers get jammed up with stuff, police get jammed up with stuff, it does not change the fact that they are people. That is just their profession. So people have all kinds of different characteristics, and whether we want to call it deviant, whether we want to call it different, people are going to be people. It is nothing saying that all people have to be alike. And I think a lot of times that's where we get thrown off.
I'm never saying all people have to be alike.
Right, but the traditions that you speak of is that's in old times past. So in reference to the comment that you just made,
how we live in.
Exactly. I don't disagree with you, but this is the point. So in order to have many friends, you can't be a natural woman. You can't be a fat woman. And so many different things that you cannot be, because you won't be seen as the masses like, well, let me friend her. Her mind might be this or that. So women have resorted to things that will get them the attention, such as being strippers, Instagram models, getting naked, or whatever. But let's look at the way men treat those women who are getting their PhD, they're doing this and that. Let's look how people view them. Men are not paying them any attention, because a lot of times those women are going to have a lot of morals and values, and they won't go for a lot of the stuff that the strippers will go for. So if I'm going to make it, I better be out there. I better be ready to pop a nipple out quick in order to get some followers, because otherwise, from when we first started this show, how hard it has been to get people to follow along with what we're going with. So while we might have some real hot topics or whatever, it's hard for people to catch on and just want to keep on going and all that kind of stuff.
People are selling themselves short. And that's why even with me, if I'm going to my personal life for a second, because you said you got to do things for, they got to get that attention. I speak on a lot of these topics everywhere I go, right? And people will look at me not in a disrespectful manner, but if I was talking about blowing people's brains out and harming people, if I was exploiting women and talking about how good she gave me some head or something, and all the negative comments and statements, my followership would be up here.
Absolutely.
But because I am addressing certain things, and I feel like, no, do people know about me in Baltimore? Yeah, but is my following real high? No, because they don't want to hear what I be saying. I'm speaking every day telling people, look, y'all taking and buying all this name brand stuff every day, but your child is struggling in school and they can't read. I'm telling you that. They don't want to hear that. They want to see, let me get this lawyer in Gucci real quick, but my son got all these. So, no, people not going to, gravitate to it, but I'm not going to, what's called, conform to that. And I feel like a lot of the women are conforming to what's popular. When I talk to these young girls in school, this is sad. The school year just ended. My last day is tomorrow. I talk to these young girls all the time in the school. You got young 6th, 7th, 8th grade girls. I'm asking them what they want to be when they grow up. I have actual little girls saying strippers and vixens. That's what their mind is already set on. You know why? Because that's what society has deemed to be cool and equal success right now for these women. that a young girl in the 8th grade, her aspirations is to be a stripper and not say, I want to be a nurse, or I want to be a business owner, or I want to be, a hairstylist, or I want to be a ballerina or a doctor. She's not saying that. They telling me, yeah, Mr. Hawkins, I want to be a stripper. They getting that money. They got that bag.
Yeah, they gotta secure that bag.
See, I'm not out here conforming to that. I'm gonna talk to these young girls, these middle-aged women, the older women, or whatever, and let you know, like, look, you do not have to conform to that to sell yourself short.
Right.
You don't.
Definitely. And I agree with you, because it's not that I'm saying that I condone it, but I'm also saying that for adults who make those decisions, that is definitely their choice to make. In reference to the children and the message that we're sending to children, my organization does, very similar things to yours. And, again, that is what we teach and instill into them. However, when they get older, they still have choices to make. And while all along, they've learned these things, they still have choices to make. And a lot of times it's a lot easier to go to the quickest thing or the fastest way than to just, go about things,
all right, well,
on a more positive path.
You're right about that with the choice thing, but sometimes people don't understand the difference that they have other choices or they can do other things, and that's why it has become my mission to even put out these the text and the information that you do have other choices. And the reason why I say that, at a certain point in my life, I used to be in the street. I used to hustle. I used to run the streets real heavy because that's what I was taught. That's what I thought was cool. That's what I thought black men were supposed to do, because I didn't see a population of black men with jobs. I didn't see go in these schools and you tell me how many black teachers you see. Go in the hospital and get your body checked out. You tell me how many black men you see coming there as being doctors. Then you go over to the district and you tell me how many black lawyers do you see representing these young men and young women. So in their mind, they don't feel like they can do or be great or see nothing else, because that they don't see that. And two, I was exposed to seeing, oh wow, black men can be teachers. Black men can be doctors. Black men can be lawyers. Black men do take care of their family. Black men can be a good man. When I was exposed to that, now my mind changed and I wanted to do something different, because I'm like, oh wow, I see that. Because I didn't see it. I feel like a lot of these young girls nowadays, they're not, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful to nobody, but they're not seeing their mother or aunt or big sister put up more of a challenge to these men. As a young girl, again, at the school I was at for the year, I had to chase away so many little boys every day, 6th, 7th, 8th grade little boys from my class. And I'm telling her, like, look, it's not good to have all these little boys chasing you. This little girl told me, my mother got all type of men. She a dragger, I'm a dragger.
So this is the thing. So what I think, in this instance, I think the biggest culprit in this is poverty, right? So I think that mindset, happens a lot within that culture, within that socioeconomic status, right? Because in higher socioeconomic statuses, you have a lot more educated parents, you have a lot more that children can depend on as far as role models are concerned, program services, and their overall quality of life is high. But as I always say to you, unfortunately, if I don't want to be saved, you can't save me. So all you can do is put your message out there and hope that someone grasps onto it and follow through with it. That's all you can do. So again, even once you do start to have your own children, you are a great example to look up to. And your brother is learning and seeing all of those things as you do that. But again, understand that even once he grows up and he can make these decisions for himself, no matter what you put into it, he's going to take out of it what he wants to, and he's going to make choices.
That's right.
So again, as far as, when girls are growing up and, they resort to sex or resort to their body to get what it is that they want to get, understand that came from, their culture and all the things that they have been exposed to. And again, sometimes it's just a lot more easy to sell yourself short. Not saying that it's right in any kind of. It shouldn't be that way. But look at how the decline of the neighborhoods and communities has come along, and there's a lot of dynamics that's going to go into that. But again, the biggest culprit here is poverty. We talked about that in one of the very first shows. So, economically, when you have those underage parents, you have those, poor neighborhoods, that's contributing to that.
And that's why I feel like it's important that we put this right message out there, because you're right, it is a lot of it.
How do I know that?
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's why the message needs to be put out there. You gotta show for us to change. We do, and we have to keep pushing the narrative, because to continue to live the way that we've been living in these impoverished neighborhoods, we're gonna forever be like that and be behind. Because just like over the weekend, I went and spoke at a barber shop to a group of men, passing out the information, letting them know that, look, right now, grade level. Some of them was looking at me like, for real? It's first getting that information out there. These white kids, these Jewish kids, do you think their reading levels and math scores are as low as ours? No, it's not. They passing over a 75 percentile, while our kids are failing and only passing at a 15, 18, barely a 20 percentile. So what I'm saying is, we gotta get this message out there and continue to push it. And when you driving this message, yeah, you gonna have people looking like, because that's how it has been. But just because something is the way it is in our communities where we're poor, doesn't mean we should just continue to live like that. And we have guests in here. I really would like to hear, y'all stance on it, because I don't want to feel like I'm just being too hard on women. But I am, again, hard on women because I'm hard on men. Honestly. And if I bring my family up and my fellas up here, they'll tell you, I'm the guy, you're not about to cheat on your girlfriend or fiance or wife around me. I don't want to see it. And if you're going to do it, don't bring it around me. If we out together, don't bring your side piece in the same room I'm in. I don't condone that, because I know your wife and your child is at home waiting for you to walk back through those doors. So if that's what you're going to live, do it where I can't see it, because I'll leave or I won't even accept you in my space. If you have a child and you're not taking care of that child, and we know that's your child, bro, step up and go take care of your child, because our dad just sure don't want to see you with the big Timberland boots, pulling up in your big Lexus, and you flying flashy, but you got son or your daughter out there, and the baby mother taking care of it every day, and she's struggling, or maybe she got a good job. Regardless, it's not just her. So I'm not speaking on stuff that I don't stand by. What I'm saying is, we need to hold each other more accountable. And I feel like, why don't women?
We do hold each other accountable. Well, in my circle, we do. I can't speak for everybody else's circle, but my circle, we do. We don't play those games, especially me, because I'm the. What am I, Stacey? What am I? Yes, I'm the proof of the good. That's what they.
You though. What trips me out? You the proof. Come on, you the proof.
But while you have been very adamant about what you're feeling about the younger people, we want to get to what we're really talking about, because now, so now we're talking about the grown people, the women, and your expectation of such, right? Yeah, so that's what we're talking about.
Because I'm really hard on them, because I feel like once you get past 30 and over, you really should be able to carry yourself a certain way, because you have experienced and seen certain things. You know what the men is out here to do to you. So for you to be 30 and over and you still out here just being somebody's body or being multiple bodies past 30, you done already lived 30 years. You done seen.
So this is my thing, right? I don't think age has anything to do with it. Again, so when you talk about bodies and multiple bodies and all of that kind of stuff, and I'm gonna get you with this every single time. If the quality of the relationship or the quality of the man is not there, if what I want him for is to date him, to see what I can get from him, including his sex, Why is that not acceptable? No matter if I get 50 or whatever, people still have needs to be met. And just trying to uphold my standard, I'll be waiting around forever for someone who holds your same ideals to come around.
No, that's the problem.
You will.
You won't, and that's the problem. It's too many people walking around believing and thinking and living like that, and that's why we have a high percentage of people who just don't care and they just having sex and relationships are failing, and women having sex with married men and married men sleeping with married women, and we got so much confusion because everybody like, oh, shit, I'm just doing whatever. It's just like a whatever society right now instead of morals and values and respect.
Again, that old tradition.
Right. So wait, Wesley, I have a question for Wesley. Wesley, out of your circle, how many of your friends are like you? You're the only one, right?
You're the proof.
So I have men in my circle that are married, and
that's not. We're not talking about the ones that are cheating.
I don't believe. No, I'm saying I don't believe they're doing nothing, and if they are, I don't know about it. Because if you do know, like,
you're right, they won't be in your circle.
Right.
So that's the point.
I don't know about that, but I do have other homeboys that just run around and body joints every day. You know what I'm saying? And without, because I can't, people know me.
Right.
People know me. All right. I watch somebody I know as a man, then they have a different woman at least 4 to 5 days out of a 7-day week.
Wesley, that used to be you. Okay.
And what I'm saying is y'all not listening to what I'm saying.
What you saying?
Why is it so easy, women? Why are y'all doing? Listen. No. She ain't getting taken out to dinner. She didn't get no bag. He didn't wine and dine her. He ain't do nothing special.
But
it wasn't weeks led up to that.
But in her list, he might be just that one that I need to call to beat it up. In her list. So, again, you're expecting this female to be held to such high standards when the men aren't really offering anything. So
and that's my point. You just made my point. Thank you.
No, I'm not making your point.
Goodness, she just said it. No. The men aren't offering anything, and y'all still giving the box away. That's my point. Because that's the whole basis I'm standing on. They're not giving you nothing. Why are you still popping it open?
But it goes back to what you said, because if they don't know any different, if their mothers didn't show them any different, their fathers didn't show them any different, that's all they know is that I might get this chicken box because that might be what I'm going to eat today.
Or, right, that might be all I'm going to eat today. So again, but
I'm not talking about only homeless women or fatherless women. I'm talking about, because y'all saying the chicken box might be only male, goddamn. Like, come on, bro. Y'all just living like this, lawyers, all type of women.
Because the single woman who can hold it down on her own. If there is not a man who is coming and he is bringing it the way he's supposed to be, and Wesley, I will tell you, you may have all the attributes, but I find you to be very controlling. Just from the things that you have said, I find you to be very controlling. Because one week, what did you say? Oh, you ain't gonna be speaking to me like that. I was like,
but that's not. See, that's what I'm saying. That's not a sense of control. That's a sense of authority.
So do I have authority over you? Like
at some points, yes. But in these relationships and in life, in a family structure, see, we so far off in our community that we don't understand this authority. No, I'm not taking us back. And that's why I'm going to keep on saying, that's why we're going through a lot of the stuff that we're going through now. And that's why it's going to continue. And that's why it's getting worse. Because there is no authority figures. There is no structure. There is no set of standards that, look, at the end of the day, if this man, I gotta face everything out in this world as a black man. When I come home to my family and my queen, whatever woman I'm calling my queen, I want to be dealing with a nasty attitude and some big mouth. I'm already getting beat up in the streets.
All right, hold on. We have a call. WMSK Online Radio. This is Open Wide with Neeuq. Hello, how are you?
How you doing?
Hi, Tata. Aisha got all her friends calling. What's up, Tata?
Look. Go ahead. Yes.
Hi, Wesley.
How you doing, Queen?
Don't fall for it.
I so easy. I feel like you're putting all the blame.
It's not true.
Like, why can't a woman listen to the same thing that a man does without being easy?
Tata, I like you already.
Because, Queen, I'm not even saying it's okay for the man to do that, and that's the message that I think y'all women are missing. I'm not saying give the man free reign to just run over women, and women shouldn't be able to do the same thing. My point and my argument is it's too many men treating women any type of way, and it's daggone too many women just accepting a little to nothing. I'm never stating that women should be able to run around like men, because I don't even feel like men should be running around the way that they are.
Okay. But sometimes people, they just stay in the field until they find what they really for.
So what you had to say about that? So she said sometimes they play the field. So that goes back to our discussion that we had about the dating piece. You want to walk right into a marriage.
I don't want to walk right into a marriage. That's what I'm saying. And y'all can't, because
I need
wait, she asked me a question.
Hold on. I need one of Wesley's women to call up in here. How about that?
Call up in here.
Somebody, one of his women on his live, because I know you out there watching. Let's hear Wesley's woman's take on it. But go ahead, Tata. I'm sorry.
No. I just wanted to know, because we can have all these high standards, right? But this day and age, we can work something all that much, right? But it will be waiting a lifetime to get the perfect match.
Thank you, Tata. Yes. That's all I've been saying.
So what is the advice you have for the women like over 30, over 40, who are single, who pay their own bills, who do for themselves on a daily basis? And what? So we can't just go and say, I'm just going to play with him for the summer, and it is what it is.
You know what we building? One of the sayings that say hurt people is one of the truest sayings that you can ever go back to. Because right now, what we are doing, we are building a big bowl and pot of more hurt and damaged people. By everybody keep trying to play each other, by everybody keep trying to be extra selfish, by everybody trying to be so greedy. We doing nothing but hurting each other and making a pot filled with more damage than hurt people. So when you got the one woman who got a whole basketball team lined up and she's saying, oh, John is the guy who gonna buy me drinks when we go out, but I ain't going home with him. Then she got the other man, Mike is the guy who gonna take me on trips, but I'm not gonna post him in no picture. Then she gonna say,
hold on. What'd you say, Tata? Now you talk.
Because I know what I'm talking about. I talk to too many people in this world, and I know what's going on. You got women out here with a whole lineup of 7 women. Seven men.
Right, because that has become our reality.
That's
because the breakdown of relationships, because a lot of times in present day society, but you also have to understand there has been a lot of things that have become acceptable. It has become out in the open and acceptable to be bisexual or polyamorous or any of the poly relationships. And that's okay, because although it's not the most common thing, in some people's world, that is what they know to be normal. Right. So what we're looking at here in America, a lot of times, is that what is normal to us or what is okay for us is that man-woman monogamous situation. Anything outside of that or deviating from that is considered abnormal.
At some point in time, we did have more believers in faith. We did have more people that believed in God and the Word. And if you believe, if you had a belief such as that, that's where it started from. There was an Adam and Eve. It was never or whatever religion you have. If you believe in the Bible or the Quran or any other religion, there was never Steve and Steve. There was never Kim and Kate.
No, it was a whole lot of homosexuality.
Yeah, I'm not saying it wasn't none, and that's why it got dealt with a certain way. But what I'm saying is that belief factor came from a certain place. And nowadays, in 2018, it's almost like, what do we believe in?
All right, so hold on. So speaking on the religious aspect. So me personally, I don't practice any type of organized religion. And as you can see from those people who have been put into those positions, their behavior has been so hypocritical, so self-absorbed, and just so misguiding to those people who follow behind them. Because again, it's an opportunity for them to build their brand, make their way, etc. So I don't really disagree with people not having religion as their basis. I don't necessarily disagree with that. And again, religion is one of those things that is a personal choice. It's your choice as to what it is that you want to participate in.
It's almost like y'all speaking on having a lawless world. No. Honestly, it's like it should be lawless. No. Where is the rules? Where is the structure? Where is the boundaries?
I don't know that. I don't know. No, that's not what I'm saying. Again, I choose not to follow a religion because again,
religion, though.
You did. You just did.
I'm not at this point. I said that's where it came from.
Right.
Of the normal.
Right. And then as society has evolved, as people have grown into being people that they are. Again, you cannot expect these pastors, preachers, and all of this other kind of stuff to be any different from any other person in the world. Because even though they have this belief, they're talking about all of these things, in the end, they are still people. That's why when you have all of these priests that are having sex with these little boys or whatever, that they have been pedophiles no matter what position or profession that they sought out.
Right, but that's not, I never stated that any platform is perfect. You're going to have problems in every single field that you walk in. If you walk in and be in the medical field, it's doctors who have the highest charts, and they have killed people in their practice. That's just facts. If you walk in the law enforcement and criminal justice field, it's lawyers who are incarcerating people who didn't even commit the crime, and it's people that's locked up who are actually innocent. So any field, if you go and look at the teachers who teaching the students, it's some teachers who don't give a daggone, and then there's some teachers who love those kids. So I'm never stating that everything is perfect. But what I am saying is right now we're living in a time and day where it's almost like everybody's doing any single thing. I was just at a conference, and I was at a conference in Chicago. And at this conference, and I be wishing sometimes more people would get engaged because I'm going to speak on it. But some people get upset by stuff. I was at a conference in Chicago. And we had this side meeting, and it was about 30 people inside of a big bubble. But at the conference, it was hundreds of people. But we had a side conversation. 2 black women got so emotional, they started crying. You know why? At this conference, one, it wasn't a lot of representation of black or brown people. Do you know it was like 12 of us? 8 of them was 8 black women. 3 of them was 3 homosexual men. I was the only straight man. One girl had a conversation and she asked the guy, why? And he laughed it off. I've been dealing with that question my whole life. She said, do you know black women are already losing black men to murders, jail, this and that. Now we're losing a high percentage of black men to homosexuality. I'm not a woman, so I can't speak on that. I've seen other women asking men that question like, yo, we losing black men to a high rate of that. I didn't grow up with this.
Right, which really doesn't, you know why? Because again, they were banished for being who they were. It's not that they did not exist. You're not losing them
Yo,
because
now y'all forming these kids. It's more young kids in these schools. I'm telling y'all, go to them schools. It's more young kids in these schools, y'all, young queens that's walking around trying to be like they gay little girls and gay little boys. We never saw this when we were growing up.
And
It's deemed cool now.
it's not even that it's cool. It's deemed autonomy.
No,
You can have your own
like
identity. You don't, again, you can't say what, again, is not right or what is not normal.
I'm saying all these little kids not like that.
You cannot necessarily say that. You cannot say that at all, because what it all boils down to is I am going to be who I am going to be regardless.
These kids don't even know who they are, but you know what they see?
The problem,
they making it cool now.
So, but the point is it should be okay for me to be who I am. It should not be that I have to hide. It is not
why is it being like promoted so heavy? Being homosexual is getting more promotion than being married in a good relationship, in a man and a wife.
Because again, we don't have to live in a way that people
so why is, I'm not saying live in a bubble. I'm asking, why is it promoted so heavy? If you want it to be normal, cool, let it be normal.
It is normal, and just because it was hidden before, now we will have the freedoms to be who it is that we want to be, no matter who it is that we want to be. And it's society as a whole, if we kind of stepped outside and thought outside of the box. You are again trying to stuff everybody into one group and make it seem like this is how all people should be. It should be okay if I want to be a trans person. It should be okay if I want to be a poly person. It should be okay if I want to switch back and forth. It should be okay. It is, because just because you didn't see it or it's not necessarily normal or wasn't openly accepted, it is what it is, because those people have always existed. Maybe it didn't have a name back then.
People, I'm going to say this. Do me a favor and come back to me next week. Start paying more attention to your TV shows. Start paying more attention to the radio stations. Start paying more attention to the magazines. Why? You can watch a movie nowadays and you won't even see a husband or wife in there. But it'll go from a fight scene to two men kissing. It's almost like it's forced in movies. It's forced in cartoons. It's forced now. It's like it's being promoted that no, don't be a straight man. Don't be a straight little girl. It's being promoted like you got to do that. Do you know when Black Panther came out? They said they was trying to stand up against Black Panther and say it wasn't enough representation in there of homosexuals in Black Panther. They really try to like vote against that.
But just like where we get into these race wars with white versus black, it's the same thing. Straight versus.
No, it's not.
It is.
No, it's not. You know why? Because I was born black. I don't have a choice. I can't choose if I'm black. You can't choose if you white. But I literally know women right now that they chose to be with another woman. She wasn't born like that. You know what she said? Oh, I got tired of men hurting me, so I'm gonna go see what dating women is like. She didn't. She chose that, but she didn't come out of her mother like that.
How do you know? How do you know that it's not people who do come out of their mothers like that?
I never said that.
But the point is, you're very adamant. So even if I decided, if I had men all my life, and one day I decided, well, damn, Aisha looks good, I should be able to say, Aisha, let's get it.
She said, yup. She said, yup. It's even on the Disney channels that I show my kids now.
So again, you
have
forcing
it.
So, no, it's not that it's forced, but it's not that it's forced. You have to understand that there are people in this world who are dealing with that, not only as parents, but as children growing up, because sometimes genetically so.
So why is it to be straight? Why are they not showing your father?
Why is it so hard to embrace that it's things that are different? I think that's the bigger issue.
You ain't answering.
I think that's the bigger issue here. Why is it not okay to embrace that a lot of stuff will be different? Not that it's forced.
It's forced, bro.
It's not forced, because answer me this: if I had a set of twins right now, and then I've seen it several times, if I had a set of twins, most likely it's not going to be one of them that's a homosexual. A lot of times, both of them, if you pay attention to twins, both of them are homosexual. Whether one of them is out or not.
They going off on here. They naming mad TV shows that saying that they showing the homosexual stuff, but they're not showing straight families or husband and wife. They going off in my comments saying It's showing.
Okay, and
so people see what I'm saying.
Okay, and I'm not refuting that. One, I told you before that I don't watch television. I don't.
I'm telling you.
So
TV,
even
you watch
if
it?
it
So,
even if it's there, okay, hold on one second. Even if it is there, it has been represented that it can only be man-wife, and that's why they were so mad at Bill Cosby when it came out that he was doing what he was doing. Again, if it's an unfair representation, how is it that okay now that it seems to be more than right now is a problem?
Well, that's what I'm standing and I'm advocating since it's unfair. I'm advocating for the straight men.
Okay, Wesley. Let me interject.
Yes,
I do believe that Wesley is right about that they are forcing it on us. Okay. For instance, back in the days, to see the nakedness and all of that was cable. Before everybody had to get cable. Because before you had you had the local stations and you had cable. If you didn't have cable, you didn't see that stuff. Mm-hmm. Now on regular TV, what's the show on Thursday night? Scandal with Cyrus. Mm-hmm. Now, we all had questions about Cyrus being gay, but then they took it there to the next level. Him with the man in bed kissing. That's a little bit too much.
Wow.
Well, we never would have said anything if it was Olivia and Fitz.
Exactly. Thank you. And
that's what I was
married.
about to address. That's what I'm saying. It's been more promoted of the negativity than you see what at least in my mind should be the right thing. Everybody praising Olivia since y'all brought that show up, but she cheating with the man.
No, she is not cheating. She is
not cheating. She's dating him. She know the married, but she know him. Y'all women pumping her up.
No, what I'm saying is that is not what they're up in arms about. Is the fact that she is speaking with a married man. Nobody is saying anything about that, and that it's a male-female relationship. But everybody's up in arms because it's Cyrus and it's a man and a man. Like, why? Well, she's doing all kinds of
because we never used to see that back in the day.
Okay, so you never used to see it, but again, you need to be able to embrace change.
So I'm not saying don't embrace change, but I'm saying it's overwhelming. Look at the TV shows. You don't watch TV. So
it don't matter.
Let me talk to her real quick. Let me talk to her. She don't watch TV. What I'm saying is, okay, if that's gonna be the case, still attract a man like me. You know why? Because you're losing me. So now I don't even want to watch some of these shows because you know what I don't see? I don't see a husband and wife being promoted on these shows. But you know what I see when I watch what's the little singing show? When they be rapping and singing.
The Voice?
No.
American Idol?
No, hold on. It's Empire. Empire. When you watch Empire, all right, hold on. When you watch Empire, this is what Empire will do. I've watched it. I liked it at first. And 2 hours like, yo, what is going on? Empire will have a dope scene where as though they going through their music thing.
And then Jamal is having sex with his
out of nowhere. It'll jump from. But what I'm saying is, listen to what I'm saying, what they showing y'all. They showing y'all a dysfunctional relationship between a woman and a man.
No.
When you're looking at Lucius and Cookie, they joint mad dysfunctional. She with him, he with her. It's dysfunctional. Okay. And then it'll go from a fighting scene into nowhere. It'll jump into the screen.
Okay.
Y'all kissing another dude. You be like, yo, that didn't even fit that scene.
No, let me say
that equals force.
No, it doesn't. That's not what I'm saying. Because the whole storyline of Empire was for it to be a lot of convolution and all the other kind of stuff. Now, this is what I am going to say to you about TV. Me not watching TV is my choice. Not only that, is if you don't want to see it, you don't have to turn on the TV. That is your choice. Would you allow your children to see on TV? If you don't want them to watch it, make sure you censor what they're watching. But it's happening all around them. Hold on. Again, you have to censor it. If you know that they're going to have that message in their show, make sure that at that time your child is not watching TV. That is a choice. But let me tell you what's not a choice. If I feel like in my body that I'm in the wrong physical body on the outside, and I feel like I want to deal with my own identity, I should be able to do that. That, my son, is not a choice.
That's a small population.
No, it does not matter. The point is if I feel like I want to be a bisexual woman, that is who I am. I should have that autonomy
feel you.
and have
She
that
said,
identity.
she said, what can I allow my child to watch? How can you censor something? What do I let my kids watch when they put it on Disney and Cartoon Network? But I gotta find a whole nother situation for my kids to watch because everybody don't believe in that.
They don't, and they don't have to. But again, if you try to shield your children from this, when they go out and they got a little 7-year-old kid in their
It's
class,
not about shielding your children from it. It's like it's being forced.
it's not that it's being forced, but it is part of our reality. So when your child, if we never see homosexuality or sexual identity or anything, when your child is going to school and they're confronted with their little trans kid, imagine what that trans kid has to go to because these normal kids are doing this. So then does that mean that trans kid is not normal? It just means that that's not what's happening all over the place. That just means that it's not the most normal thing to be, but they are valid.
You want to overpower the conversation because you want to make your point, and that is not what I am saying.
No,
I'm saying is you can't even turn on too many situations and see a straight relationship, but you can almost always see 2 men or 2 women. Almost always, that equals force. When you don't see no happy households, when you turn on your TV show, you name a bunch of shows right now that can equal up to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. You name some shows that show you even things that Martin or what was the New World or you name any shows that it ain't. People always say Blackish, and that's one of the few. Blackish, but there's like 20, 30 more TV shows that's saying what I'm saying, though. And you can name 1 or 2 shows.
But you also, let's look at this. You're now also talking about another dynamic that exists, and that is that black TV versus white TV. Because you won't even get a lot of black TVs on black TV shows on mainstream TV anyway. So that's definitely another. That's an additional dynamic.
Even more ratchet and up the chains. Like,
but listen, just like sex sells, you have to do what's going to get you the ratings. Otherwise, this shit is going to be canceled and nobody's going to see it.
No, that's not always because sex ain't sell in the Cosby's. Sex didn't sell in Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Sex didn't sell in Martin. We laughed. We was crying watching Martin. It wasn't about sex. I was a kid growing up on that, and I still like mother. It ain't about always sex. That's what's being forced, if y'all hear what I'm saying. They forcing that on these women. They forcing that on these kids. They forcing that on these people because that's not the only thing people want to watch. What it is it's being forced. And when something is being forced, that's what normally people just end up conforming to.
I disagree. Because it's going to be happening whether it's on TV, whether it's out in the open,
it's
going
popular.
to happen because people are people.
So
and not all people are monogamous, not all people are
I'm talking about myself too. Okay. I'm 32. When I was growing up, music was way more better. The singers could sing better. They had way more content. The rappers had way more content. They didn't talk about street life, yes, but they still had way more content. Can you say that's true or false to nowadays compared to the music that y'all grew up on?
Totally different. I just saw KRS-One, great performer, excellent MC. He calls himself an MC. He's an MC, yes, and it's totally different from.
But that's the point. But that is the point.
But he's not selling anything.
Exactly. Things are going to go with what is popular.
That don't mean it's popular. I'm telling you, as somebody that has been in music, it is a forced agenda. You know why? I'm trying to tell you.
I'm telling you, when you came out with your positive sounds and all that kind of stuff, that's going to attract one certain type of people. That doesn't mean right. But guess what? It's going to attract that group of people. Whoever's going to follow that type of music, they're going to follow it. Does that mean that it's not right because the masses aren't following it? And again, you're not going to be picked up by the big label if the masses aren't going to follow it. So the more ratchet you get, the more you get locked up, the more records you sell. It's just the nature of the beast. That's just how it is. So if they were going to put,
that's what they got y'all believing,
Right,
bro.
I mean,
That's what they got y'all believing, and y'all not hearing me.
No,
It's a false
I'm
agenda.
agreeing with it, but that's just what it is. We all
No. It is what it is, but what I'm saying is that's what the people who control it at the top, they don't live like that. But those are the people who they putting the money behind. Because let me tell you how they look at it in the music industry. They look at it like, if we get this one young black man and make him tat up his whole face and make him talk about guns and drugs and killing all day, he's going to create a whole movement of young kids that's going to listen to him. We'll let him get a couple of $1 million, but he's setting back a whole generation of kids. That's how they look at it. They don't want you to have content because they're not going to promote you. When you go to these record labels, they looking at how much of a clown are you so they can promote it. I'm promising you, it is a forced agenda because they're trying to set our people back.
And that part I don't disagree with. That part I don't disagree with. Because yes, I do definitely agree with that. Again, but that again is going to go towards the argument about the whole racial aspect of it. But again, I do not feel like if you're homosexual or have anything that's outside of a heterosexual lifestyle or identity, I don't think that it's abnormal. I just don't think that is.
Well, I'm speaking on it personally. I got 2 little sisters, and if they agree with it, I want to bring them on the show. I got 2 little sisters, right? One of my little sisters was running around with girls, and my family was all like, "What are you doing?" I would talk to her, try to be there. She told me because at the time she was going through something, and the little girl was the one who connected with her the most. If you go, she was young at the time when she was with the little girl. But if you go talk to her now, as a 20-some-year-old woman, she got a baby, she live with a boyfriend, and she ain't into that no more. Okay, it ain't cool no more. She ain't come out the womb like that, queen. It was cool. I got another little sister that's 27. She did the same thing. She had a little girlfriend, but guess what now? She run around with a penis. She run around with 3 babies. My point is, she thought, no, that's not what she knew.
No, that's what you know.
What I'm saying is they thought it was cool. No, I speak to my family.
But listen.
But my point to you is, you can't choose if you're black. I was born a black man. But my little sister or little brother, if they wanted to because society say it's popular, they can say, oh, I like girls now because the society is cool. And then they can say, oh, I'm going back to boys. But she was not birthed that way, is what I am saying.
Okay, and I totally definitely disagree.
They're choosing it.
I disagree. Because if you did not admonish your sister or make it seem like she was doing the bad thing, who knows? She could have come into whoever it was that she was going to be with. And it may be that your sisters are bisexual. And right now they have a man. Back then they enjoyed being a woman.
Guess what? And I love the way they are. Because you know what? If they live that way, my sisters love their kids. But you know what? No, let me speak on something. No, listen. 2 women can't make 1 child together.
It does not matter. It doesn't matter. Because it is women who can't make children with a damn man. That's why they have science to help them.
She had some type of.
It doesn't matter. Right? It doesn't matter.
What do you need to make a baby?
Get out of here.
What do you need? You need a man and a woman to create a baby.
No, I can go to the bank right now and I can get pregnant.
That's artificial. That's called artificial.
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Artificial.
It don't matter.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I cut you off. We heated in here, baby. That's what I love.
Yes, we
are. This is what I love.
Yes, we are.
So my sister is married to a woman. She also has 2 sons. Her wife has 6 kids. And it just happened later on in life. She was married to a man.
Cool.
Didn't work out. Okay. Whatever it may be. So your sisters they might be in that transitional stage, and you never know what it's going to progress in later years.
Did you hear what I said when I opened up? They making that choice to do this bounce around stuff. What I'm saying is, I didn't choose to be this black man. I was born this.
Assuming that they're choosing that.
That's a choice. What you mean? If you was with men and now you're with women, that is a choice for you.
With a man right now, that could be their choice for right now.
That's what I'm saying. That's a choice.
I want both. But I want
the woman is the choice. Being with the woman is the
No, what I'm saying is,
You have a choice.
you have a choice.
At one time, she was with the man. That was her choice to be with the man. Now she's with the woman.
That's called
her
a choice.
And guess what?
That's her choice.
No. I was born, if we want to get into the science, I was born to be attracted to men and women. I like them. Maybe at this point, I happen to like a man more than I like a woman, or maybe this situation that I am in. And a lot of times people who are bisexual or whatever get attracted to these situations because at the time I'm more into this guy. That was the most relevant situation that I was in. But that does not mean if at any time, because I'm attracted to a woman, I choose to be with one, that I don't love my children or I love my children any less. Even if I could have a husband and a wife right now, I would do it. If I could have 2 wives right now, I would do it. But that does not necessarily mean that something is hardwired. Because I was born to be that way. Because if you sit down and talk to people outside of your family, and I think y'all was wrong for trying to make your sisters feel like
no, I never see you wrong because I said we asked her what was wrong.
Ain't nothing wrong. I like cootie cat. That's it. Ain't nothing wrong.
Everybody don't believe in that though.
That's your belief. Your belief is a choice.
Everybody don't believe in that.
Everybody don't believe that. Listen, again, beliefs. Religion is all a choice. I can believe right now that Muhammad is the Savior. Tomorrow I could go to church and believe that Jesus Christ died on the sins. The next day I can go to the Kingdom Hall and believe that only 177,000 going up into the rapture. So belief is a choice. But who I am, who I was born to be, that is not a choice.
All right, cool. I got a question to y'all. Do y'all know is research out right now? And there's people, just as much as she advocating and she's hyped for this, do y'all know it's real people that saying adults are attracted to kids? What is the pedophilia? Do y'all know they saying pedophiles have a real feeling and that's what they're attracted to and that's what they want? So I got a question for you. Do you feel, since it's so cool, would y'all be okay with a 40-year-old man walking down the street with a 13-year-old little girl? But that's what he believes, though. He was born that way.
Yes.
He was born that way. So give a 40-year-old man a 14-year-old little girl since he was born that way.
Listen, so I'm glad that you brought up that point.
He was born that way, right?
Hold on. I'm glad that you brought up that point because that's going to be something that we talk about later on when my book is published. Because let me say this. Because my book will be out at the end of July, y'all. It's already at editing. Let me say this. I've worked just like you've worked in a penal system. The point is with sex offenders. Now let me make my point. Not that I'm saying that their behaviors or actions are right in any kind of way. What I do know is just like if I like a man and a woman, or my type is tall, dark, and handsome, I do not think because of how they are wired can help what they like. They happen to be attracted to little kids. Not that their behavior should be condoned or okay. There is no treatment that's going to work for them because in their mind, how they are wired, to them, that is what they like. That is what they are.
So we wrong. If we gonna accept homosexuals because they was born like that, then we need to, as a society, say no. They was born like that. And she argued that being homosexual was born. My argument before that, I said these young kids at school, they in 6th grade already walking around talking about they like girls. They kids.
That's boys and girls.
They kids. No, the argument was they was born like that. So you gonna judge somebody for how they was born?
So again, because the argument
is I'm born like the women. I'm born like the men. So you said I'm born. Like come on, you can't get people in the basket. I got you. You said I'm born like the women. That 40-year-old man was born like the kids.
Okay.
So at one point in time in society, exactly. So you say one man.
I'm just based on adult consenting.
But she like to say countries. Hold on. Do you know in certain countries a girl can get married at the age of like 12 or 13? So you saying, if you saying since it's so okay and they was born like that, one day in our society, it's gonna be okay for 30 and 40-year-old men to walk up and down the street with a 15-year-old little girl, and I want to hear y'all keeping the same energy that y'all got now.
Listen,
That's already happening.
so this is the thing. Like I said, I did not say that their behavior should be condoned. But what I am saying is because of the way they were born, they cannot help what they like. The problem with their behavior is that the people who they like cannot properly consent and participate in the behavior. That's why it's wrong.
That's not true.
It is.
No,
if you're five, you cannot consent.
I ain't say nobody's 5. But I'm around little kids all day, and in the 6th grade, and they talk more about sex than people that's my age.
Again,
Y'all can't get me by still. 6th grade, little girls and little boys talking about sex more than adults sitting around talking about it.
The point is, you're jumping all over the place.
I'm not. You just said he was born that way. You tried to box me in, and I just hit you back with a counter punch.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Because what you did was you missed me.
I ain't missed you. You knocked out.
No.
They gave you the 10 count, and you try to get up and lie and say, I headbutt you. No, I ain't headbutt you. I ain't getting no cheap shot. You try to argue that people born that way. And if you're going to use that terminology, then I'm going to use it back with you. These people who are pedophiles, they are arguing. It's actually massive studies out here that's saying those people, okay, you heard it, right? Okay. Long as y'all heard it.
But this is the point. This is the point that I am making.
Long as they heard it.
Again, they cannot help what they like. That is their attraction. The problem with what they're doing is that they are using small children. That's like your little brother. I am 25.
I respect
your brother is 5 or 6. If I'm attracted to your brother cannot consent to me having sex with him. That's what makes my behavior wrong. But can I help that I was born and your brother is attractive to me? No, I cannot, because that's how I am wired. We have to judge them because we have to keep our children safe. So again, that's something that they have to deal with.
How are we keeping our children safe though from one thing and not the other? When the woman on here said you can't even she can't turn on Cartoon Network or Disney and without her kids being exposed to homosexual type behavior. So in her mind, in her opinion, that's not keeping her kids safe.
You know what you can do? You can. Exactly.
But when what you mean, like y'all taking up for, bro. Y'all taking up
for. TV off.
Y'all taking up for because it's something that y'all agree with, and that's what the problem is. People are fighting more for homosexuals than they are fighting for the black movement.
Guess what? And
I can't choose to be born this way. That's a real argument. Let's get into it. It's more laws, it's more help, it's more parties, it's more people standing up for people being gay than it is being black. They fighting for you more that you like women than they are fighting for you as being born a black woman.
Guess what? They're both necessary.
No, they're not.
They're both necessary movements. Absolutely. Without a doubt. Because if you choose to date a white woman, let's go back to that racial inequality. When black men were attempting to date white women, they were being killed for that. But guess what? They fought enough, and that's okay. So just if I wanted to make any changes on anything, I should be able to do that. I should be able to have my autonomy. It is what I want to do. It is who I am. And again, as I started off with, I do not condone pedophilia in any kind of way. But the truth of the matter is, no, they cannot help what they're attracted to. Just like if you are a black man and you're attracted to only white women, that's what you're attracted to. You shouldn't be judged with that. If you have beliefs, I can't tell you what to believe in. That's your religion. You do whatever it is that you want to do.
People on here saying, why shouldn't, and it's not the same woman, it's different people, they saying, why shouldn't babies not be able to watch TV? If you got to protect these kids from other stuff, why should homosexual be forced on our kids? People are agreeing that it's being forced. You can't even let your child watch a TV show, bro, and watch it cook dinner. I just want to cook dinner and throw on a regular channel, and I can't even do that.
That's with any censorship in anything. That's what the music.
No, it's not. Man.
It is.
It wasn't like this. It wasn't like this.
It is.
It wasn't
so
like this.
again, you're not going to be able to control everything. So again, if there are different people in society, you have to appeal to all of those people. You cannot only put on heterosexual TV shows because there are a lot of other people who are watching those same shows.
There's barely any heterosexual shows on.
Wesley, and again, if that is the case, find something that you can purchase that you will have all of the TV shows just for your child. Because they have to.
You got to get on there and do research for a straight show.
It don't even matter.
You got to do research for it. You got to Google.
Don't let your child listen to Lil Boosie or
my phone died, y'all. So if it cut out, I'm
don't let that be no excuse.
How much time we got left?
Here. Well, why not have a conversation with your children about what they're seeing or what if they have questions?
Yes. What about that parenting? Because just like my son has a birthmark on his face. My son has a birthmark on his face, right? And he, when he went to school, he was considered different because he's a black boy, but he has half his face is white. So kids looked at him and treated him crazy because he was different, right? So they were treating him like that because he was different. Right. So again, if a little trans girl came into the classroom, it's about being educated. Not everybody is the same. Right. When mixed kids started coming into the classroom, I know it was something that they had to deal with. So it's about communicating with your children. It's about talking to your children. Things are different. Don't try to
how come y'all won't acknowledge what I'm saying, though?
So this is the same.
She won't, though.
I did. I
see both sides.
I agree with several of the things that you're saying. But again, don't force your religion.
Everything is censorship now.
No, don't force your religion on me. I could care less what you believe. You are. Because your belief. Don't force your belief on me.
I'm not trying to force it. What I'm doing is I'm fighting for the straight people.
Okay, you can be
straight. Ain't nobody fighting for.
That's what I'm saying. You've had your time. It's old. So you can be who you're gonna be. So you have become the minority.
Right. That's going to lead to our population getting smaller. Keep on promoting it and let 50% of the population then turn to homosexuals where the babies getting created.
That don't even make sense.
It do make sense. And now the population going to start dropping.
No, it's not.
It is. You can't. It don't matter how many women you like. Y'all can't make none. You need a man to get it. He got to give you his dues. This right here is going to be the problem.
Okay, but them jewels that you was just shaking last week when I said if that's all I wanted you for, you had a problem. Now you want to shake them in my face. But this is the thing. If I want to make a baby with my wife, it's men like you who go there, they put that shit in a cup so that they can keep their bloodline going. Right. So I can go and I can get some. It don't matter. I'm still going to get a real baby out of it. I'm still getting a real baby out of it, and I don't care what you say. I'm still getting a real baby.
Going suffer.
No, it ain't. Because I can go and get artificially inseminated with quadruplets if that's what I wanted to do. But you got to give me my choice. You got to give me my choice. So again,
I give people their choice. I feel like it's been forced on these kids. But you can agree to disagree, but I feel like it's been forced on these kids.
I disagree.
I feel like it's been forced on these kids.
Because it's the parent's responsibility.
It is a parent's responsibility, but stuff is still forced. A parent can't walk with a child. Do you know how many hours in a day and in a year and in a week that a child spends in school? So when a child gets out of school, they going home or to some aftercare. So first, your parent is at work. So a lot of these parents are working or they doing other things. So your child is either in school or in aftercare. When you get your child out of aftercare, a lot of that time, it's starting to be at nighttime. So you're feeding them, you're getting them ready for the next day. It's not a whole long day of personal time with your child. Your child got more time in school and in these programs that they in them than they do sometimes with the parents. So when you go into these programs and you're seeing young kids behaving and acting a certain way. When you raising a child and your child come home with behaviors, you thinking what? I didn't teach you to do that. They said, where did you get that from? You know where you got it from? Some other little boy or other little girl when you sent them out in the world. So I'm not saying the responsibility is not on the parents. I am saying parents, men and women need to step up. But what I am also saying is the agenda, the movement is being forced when you can't just sit your child down and watch a regular cartoon show without SpongeBob making some type of homosexual moves. That equals forced.
First of all, SpongeBob is not a kid's show, and as a parent, I did not let my
What's a kid's show?
I did not let, just because it's a cartoon don't mean you should be watching it, because there's a lot of cartoons with adult-like behavior in them. So SpongeBob, there's a lot of different messages in SpongeBob. So again,
all cartoons, they pushing too much of the agenda, bro. Like,
don't let your kid watch it. If what you want your children to watch is My Little Pony, go buy the video.
They probably got the little My Little Pony.
It don't
kissing on the boy. The kids correlate colors to what's a boy and a girl. So when they starting out young, they probably see two blue, right? My Little Ponies and two pink ones. Because pink supposed to be for girls, blue supposed to be for boys. Right?
Who said that? And again, that's an old school. No, that's an old school belief. Again.
So you know what? You almost don't want nobody to have different parts. We should all be walking around with like the same bodies. Nobody should have vaginas. Nobody should have a penis. Nobody should have breasts. We need to be some type of different species, and we all have the same body parts. Because we just
because I like your body parts and I like Aisha's body parts.
She greedy.
So no, it's not about being greedy. You gotta give people their choices. It's not about being greedy at all. You again, just because it's not the same. That's why they came out with the yellow.
If she had the money, she probably would have this big house, and inside her big house, she probably would have 2 husbands on first floor and 3 wives upstairs. She greedy,
I probably would.
I know.
I probably would.
So y'all coming at me.
But again, if it's my choice, we can just do away with marriage altogether. Do whatever you want to do. If you having children, be responsible. That's what I'm saying. Because there is a reason to have marriages. There is a reason. Marriages do work in some situations, but is that how everybody has lived? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because again, it's so much into it takes so much to be in a relationship. You got to give up yourself, so much of yourself, to be okay with that relationship. So again, sometimes stuff get old.
All right, time ticking down, but I got one more question, and I want to hear from y'all.
Y'all
let us rant. No, you can tell me. I just want to hear from them. Y'all let us rant for a minute. So, since we're talking about certain people's beliefs and what they like and don't like, and if everything should be okay. At one point in time, it was okay for family members to be with family members. A mother could marry her son, or brothers and sisters can get married. But in today's society, it's not big, but that's still going on out here in some places. What do y'all feel about that? Since it should be in a world where everything is okay, is it okay for a brother and a sister to get married? Or that's wrong too.
So I don't know if incestuous relationships like that can be married, because I think it has to be.
No, see, I ain't talking about the law. Because you bypassing law in families. You bypassing law, dog. We ain't talking about law in the court. You don't want to hear from the courts. I'm asking y'all because you saying if a person feel and that's what they believe, y'all saying let it be free. So brother and sister in the same range, they the same age range and they into each other.
So I'm not saying that I agree with it. I'm not
picking and choosing what's okay.
Let me ask you this, Wesley. You had a whole bunch of sisters and brothers growing up. Did you ever hump any of your friends?
My friends.
Friends, siblings. Did you ever hump any?
Friends, I hump them.
I'm talking about when you like
my friends, I hump everything. We ain't play hide and go seek, baby. We play hide and go free. Cut the light off. I'm finding the nearest girl. I'm humping her.
Exactly.
Yes.
So that's okay. So that brings me to my next point. In human development and behavior, that is typical. When you turn 7, 8 years old, them little hormones all over the place.
Let's get it.
And you humping anything.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was 7 or 8, I did play hide and go freak with my boyfriend. But guess what I did with my girlfriends? I humped them.
Okay.
So let's stop.
But you ain't answering my question.
In reference to siblings, I never humped any of my siblings, but there are.
No, I ain't asking you did you do it. I'm talking about how you think.
I do not think it's right for.
Oh.
Mothers should not be having sex with their kids. Neither should fathers.
That's what they feel.
Neither should fathers, right? But you bring up that point in incestuous relationships, but you also have these fathers, stepfathers, and boyfriends who come in here and they molesting these children in these households. That makes it no different. When I worked at the jail with this guy who didn't have a baby by one of his daughters, this dude had babies by both of his daughters.
Okay, that's why I'm saying at some point, y'all laughing. But at some point, lines gotta be drawn and we gotta have some type of boundaries. Because you know why? Just because when society deems something okay at that time, do you know what a societal norm is? A societal norm is majority of the time when a major percentage of body of people deem something to be okay. At one point in time, it wasn't a societal norm to be homosexual. But now it is, and it's an agenda that's being pushed. So how far we want to go off this track? Then 10 more years from now, it's okay to be 40 and have a 15-year-old girlfriend because it's societal norm and people fighting from it. Then another 15 years from then, we're going to have, okay, you can, brothers and sisters and all this, but oh no, that ain't okay. But so how can you pick and choose what you saying is okay when I'm saying in my mind, who I am and how I feel, it's nothing about me that can see why one man want to hold another man in his arms. It's nothing. Okay, so if that's me, cool. Let me keep going. That's my belief. So the reason why I'm saying that is, if y'all can say that's my belief, what about these other people that feel like he like those kids? That's his belief.
Listen, my only thing is consenting adults. What you do with another adult is your business. It has no bearing on my life at all. Y'all not paying my bills. It doesn't matter to me what you do in your house. That doesn't matter. And when I teach my kids, my son, what is acceptable when he's with my sister right now. So we have to have the conversation. And this is what is happening. This is what you're going to see. That doesn't mean that this is your life or what you do or how you live.
You got
this
son
is
and
an
daughter.
example, a son. This is an example of a lifestyle. This is an example of how two people who love each other and they're running their household.
And that means
harming nobody.
And listen, and that means because
so you don't have a daughter?
I don't. I just have a son.
Okay.
So let me say this. So if your child starts to exhibit, your son starts to exhibit female behaviors or female-like behaviors, because of your beliefs, are you going to alienate your child or are you going to accept that that's who your child is? Don't just pretend that, oh, I didn't teach you that. You must have got that from school, but that's wrong, that's bad. How are you going to address your child?
And listen, this is me as a man. Dear God, I come to you today really asking and requesting that when I do have my biological kids, that I am not faced with this. And I beg of you to spare me that. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, because I don't know how I will behave and what I would and how I would be able to feel if I had a son and my son grew up wanting another man. I'm being real with the viewers. I'm being real with my family. I'm being real with my friends. As a man, and what I believe in my heart and in my mind, I do not know how I will be able to handle having a son that I want to have, and I want him to be a king like me, and he come out here and one day he telling me, Dad, I want to marry another man. I do not think I would be okay. And I don't think I would know how to deal with that. And I know we bring a lot of fathers that are real fathers to their kids. I guarantee you, I'll bet you my last dollar, if you bring on real fathers, they do not know how to deal with it. And it is crumbling their emotions and their mind. And I'm telling y'all, as a man, I don't know how I would deal with that. So I can't give you an answer because I think that will destroy. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Huh?
What do you think of Magic Johnson?
I don't know what to think about Magic. I don't know that man.
And I'm so glad. I'm so glad that you can be honest with yourself and say that you don't know how you would feel because of your beliefs. But
it will crush me. I'm telling y'all right now, it will crush me. Elijah is my little brother. I raised him to be as good and the best representation that I'm trying to teach him that a man should treat a woman. I am molding him to treat women good. We're gonna open these doors for these women. We're gonna respect women. We're gonna protect women. Because I feel like our black men not doing enough, queens, to protect y'all. I feel like y'all going through too much and our black men not doing enough. And I am an advocate for our women being protected. So I'm telling y'all today, if I am training and teaching Elijah to be a good man and a role model and to protect and treat women a certain way, and one day I am faced with him telling me that would be devastating to me.
But this is the thing. Teaching Elijah how to treat people in general. Because, again,
that's your belief.
Exactly.
That's your belief.
But the thing is you're going to set yourself up for failure. And
I'm not going to set myself or Elijah up for failure because that's not what I deemed as right. Me. I'm not setting me up for failure.
It is because
it set him up for failure.
It's not going to set him up for failure.
Listen to me, because if his reality turns out to be different than what we wanted to.
That's not his reality. Do you see that little boy?
Can you listen?
I can't hear that from y'all, queen. I'm sorry. I would dismiss that. You can't speak that. Y'all, life is about speaking to things in existence, and I will not allow neither one of you queens sitting right here to try to dare speak that or get me to understand to set, because we can leave that alone. Y'all can.
So this is the thing. Even if we're not using you as an example, let's not use you as an example. Let's talk about people who are faced with that. Because the problem here is that's how we have so many people, children who become homeless because of their parents' beliefs. When they grow up to be something outside of what their parents expect or accept, they kick them out and they alienate them from the family. So if your 4-year-old child is exhibiting behaviors that may suggest that they will be gay or whatever, for you to not treat them like they're normal is a problem, because no matter what you say, that is your child. So you cannot just throw them away and just alienate them like they don't exist because of who they are. So even once they get old enough, and that's why gay people have a hard time with coming out and talking about who they are, because again, they get so much backlash about being who they are. People cannot accept them for who they are because of their own personal beliefs. So if your child grows up and you cannot accept because of your own beliefs who they have become, that is what I see as a problem. Not that I try to convince anybody, but again, you have to allow them to be the individual who they are.
And guess what? That's okay in your household. But you know what I'm not allowing in my household? Because I'm from the streets. You know what I'm not allowing? I'm not allowing him to turn 16 or 18 to selling dope either. Because that's my household. I'm not allowing him to say that's who I am and that's what I represent. Again, that's another choice. He can say, yo, I want to do this, I want to do that. I'm not allowing him to be a murderer and live under my house. If Elijah get old enough and he walk out of my front door and he go kill somebody today or tomorrow and they losing their son or daughter and he say he want to be a murderer, I'm sending his ass in because he didn't kill somebody else's son or daughter and now they weeping and crying. I'm not raising that, and he not growing up like that. And when my biological kids come to this world, I'm not accepting certain things. That's just me.
And listen,
I'm not accepting them being no murderer. I'm not accepting them being no.
it's not about you accepting it. This is the thing.
It is.
You know what it's not. You can do your best job in your household to raise him to be all that you want him to be. Right? You can do all of that. When he gets old enough to make his own choices, despite your best efforts, he is still going to be who the hell he wants to be. He is going to make his choices. It does not matter whether you accept it, because guess what? If he pulled out a gun and he shot somebody, whether or not you accept it, it was his choice. He did it. So no, you don't have to accept it. You don't have to embrace it. But guess what? It has happened. It is done.
He done.
And you won't support him. You won't do any of that. So I hope your prayer.
I'm sending them to where he belongs to go suffer that consequence. You know why? Because that is somebody else's son. That is somebody else's daughter. And we got too many people walking around here, the crying mothers. I was just at I just spoke at somebody's fundraiser, and this woman stood up and said she did everything she could do to raise her son the right way. She bought him something. He went out in the neighborhood and he got shot and killed. And you know what? That mother will never get to see her son again. But you know the guy who killed her son, nobody turned him in. My child getting turned in. Judge me, say what you want. You want to go kill somebody else's son or daughter, you've done. I'm not supporting that. We support anything.
No. Now you're saying something that I can definitely agree with. And because I have a 16-year-old son, I have a 21-year-old daughter, and I let them know I've done the most that I could do to teach you the things that you need to know. When my daughter makes choices that are outside of what I know I instilled in her, I let her deal with that consequence. I tell my son all the time, because right now it is so hard raising a black boy, and it is so hard to raise these black children in today's society, especially the boys. Again, so when he wants to do things and make choices outside of what he knows to be right or wrong, I let him deal with his consequences. In addition to that, I know that society always has other things that they would rather have for these black boys. And we talk about this all the time, the school to prison pipeline. Mm-hmm. So when I see that the school is doing anything that's going to be detrimental to these children, I'm going to that school and I'm speaking up. I'm advocating for these children. Not all the time is it okay, because again, I can tell you something that happened in this book is going to be featured in my book. My son was being bullied. When he got to high school, if he didn't step up and start to join forces with other kids, they were being smashed by this other group of boys. Again, they went to school to learn, but they had to step up to protect themselves. So when the school tried to suspend my son for fighting, I'm saying as a school, you did not keep them safe. You knew that this other group of kids was terrorizing them, but you allowed them to stay in the building. You cannot expect these kids, even though they came with higher morals and standards, you can't expect them not to defend themselves. So I understand exactly what it is that you're saying. However, for you to alienate your child, we're not even talking about when they get grown, for you to alienate your child, that's a big difference. Because of who they are or because of the choices they made. Again, that's totally on you. That's however you want to raise your children. But again, like I said, I have 5 children altogether. 2 of them they have become who they're going to become. And when they make choices, no matter how much you talk their head off, when you make choices, you have to allow them to suffer the consequences. That's the only way that they're learning. That is part of the learning process. So yes, and I told my son, if you out here and you pretending and perpetrating to be, because I tell him all the time, when you leave out of my house, I'm scared for you. The situations that you put yourself in, all I can think about if my son goes missing or my son is found in an abandoned minium.
You know why? You know why? Because of what's going on out here. What we promote is cool, and that's why I am so passionate about it, because I was once one of the young men out here on the block who thought standing on the block was cool. In the black community, we promote. I don't care what nobody say. We promote We got women that's pumping up the drug dealers because he's making fast money. Instead of saying husband or fiance or boyfriend or big brother. Hold on, Eli. Don't do that. It's other ways. No, all she wants from him is that bag and them red bottles and that check he can drop off. She ain't telling him he can do better. She promoting him to sell that dope and that heroin and them e-pills and stuff like that. She not encouraging him. No, it's his homeboys. You know why? Because selling drugs is promoted. But nobody talking about the high murders that we dealing with from selling those drugs. Nobody talking about the high murders that we're dealing with for always talking about this gang banging and this gun violence and all this street stuff. It seems like to be a young black man, you have to be street. And if you're not street, you don't feel like you're black enough. And I be trying to tell these little boys, even little black little boys that's not even from the hood, they come to school, they try to pull their pants down. They want to look a certain way. They want to behave a certain way. Do you know why? Because in society, the image of a black man is almost just that. You have to act and behave a certain way, or you don't seem like you're a black man. That's not true.
It's not true. And all you can do is teach those who come across those same things. That's all you can do. You can teach them. But again, it's a lot easier to fall into the negative things, the bad habits. It's a lot easier to go with that. Not saying that I accept it or embrace it to be what it is, but in our reality, sometimes that's what it all boils down to. Again, you can instill what you want to, but they are still going to make their own choices. Again, I cannot imagine what it's like to be a black boy growing up right now. I cannot imagine. You know, so I'm not saying anything is wrong with how you feel, what you're believing about what's happening in this agenda that is being pushed. Again, you can only give your message. Whether or not people are going to embrace it, we don't know. But I'm on the same point with you as far as what we can teach our children, how we need to teach our children, what we need to be teaching. I'm on point with that. But again, a lot of times that's happening, you're going to have to censor this music. Half of the stuff that's on the radio, kids shouldn't even be listening to. Right? They just shouldn't. So when I have,
they do.
Okay,
they do.
But in my car, if I have Sirius radio, I'm going to listen. I'm going to listen to Kids Bop or whatever they have on there, just so that my little kids don't hear that. And once they get old enough and they out there, because when they sing a song that I don't even think they should be singing, I got a problem with that. I'm like, no, don't sing that out loud. And but am I able to censor everything? Only when I'm with them. They're going to go to school. They're going to be around different people. They're going to pick up a lot of things.
That's my point. My whole point when we always open these discussions, my whole point is right now, as a society, not just a household, as a society, we are accepting some of the lowest values. We are accepting some of the most corrupt ways of living. We are accepting some of the poorest standards. Why do you think our kids and family structure is the way that it is? Because as a society, we are accepting it at a high percentage. Families, mothers and fathers put together are accepting anything. Women are accepting anything from men. Held to a higher standard that they should be held to. Women are accepting them at the lowest standard that they are. And now what we have like this big pot of just gook.
Okay. So I definitely feel your passion. I understand where it is that you're coming from. We're gonna have to cut it off tonight. The next show is going to be coming on. Thank you, Aisha, for joining us. Thank you, Stacy, for coming. Again, I was expecting a lot more voice from the girls from the Bronx. Maybe 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, it all settle in, it all become reality, and and then we can speak up. So don't ever think anybody who's watching that we're arguing. This is a nice, healthy, educated argument. He has a position, as do I. But again, make sure you're checking us out every Monday night from 7 to 9. You're going to be, just stay tuned to WMSK. We have a great show coming on afterwards. Make sure you're tuning in at all times. Download the app and check us out on YouTube. So until next week, have a good night and be safe. Bye.
Well, that was fine.
I know, I was like,